Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever wondered what the real difference is between a team that just clicks and, one of those group project nightmares? Well, it almost always comes down to one thing: having a shared blueprint. Today, we're going to break down that exact blueprint for team success. I mean, we've all been there, right? On one side, you've got a team that's like a finely tuned machine where you're all achieving way more together than you ever could alone. And on the other, well, it's just pure chaos. So, what is the secret sauce? What's the real difference maker? The secret isn't just about hiring a bunch of talented people and hoping for the best. Nope. It's all about how they work together. The absolute best teams, they operate from a clear, shared blueprint. It's like a playbook that guides every single move. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the why. Before we get into all the nuts and bolts of the blueprint itself, why do high-functioning teams even matter so much in the first place? A great team is basically a force multiplier. It's not just about getting more stuff done, it's about getting better stuff done. When you have all these diverse perspectives, like you see here, you get way smarter innovation. When you've got shared ownership, you get stronger decisions. This isn't just about being efficient. It's about creating a place where people actually feel valued, turning them from just, cogs in a machine into real engines of progress. So, where do you even start building this blueprint? Well, it all begins with one really critical question. What kind of team are you actually on? Because the structure absolutely has to fit the mission. Think about it. A team that's built to respond to a crisis needs a totally different playbook than a team that just handles day-to-day operations. Trying to use a one-size-fits-all approach for team design, that is such a common mistake, and it can be a critical one. So, this table breaks down two really common types just to show you what I mean. Over on the left, you've got a problem-solving team. You can think of this like a special task force brought together to fix one specific thing. They've got a clear, short-term goal and usually a formal leader. But on the right, you have a self-managed team. This group handles the ongoing stuff with a ton of autonomy, and they often share or rotate leadership. Just take a look at the details. Which one of these sounds more like your team? Maybe it's a mix, or maybe it's something totally different, like a cross-functional team. The important part is that you know your design. All right, now here's the cool part. No matter what type of team it is, every single one of them goes through a pretty predictable development process. You can think of it like their operating system. And if you understand these stages, you can navigate them way more successfully. So this process usually unfolds in four main stages. It all starts with forming, which is that initial getting to know you phase. Then you hit the really crucial storming stage, and we're going to zoom in on that one in a second. After that comes norming, which is where the team starts to find its groove. And finally, you get to performing, where they're operating like a well-oiled machine. This whole thing isn't random. It's a predictable journey. I really want to pause on storming for a second because this is where so many teams get derailed. People see conflict and they immediately think, oh no, this isn't working. But that is completely wrong. Storming is absolutely essential. It's the friction that polishes the stone, you know? This is the moment when you hash out disagreements, you clarify roles, and you build the trust that you're going to need to get to that high-performing stage. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Okay, so we've covered the team's structure and its development process. Now let's zoom in on the most important component of all, the actual people in the team. What does your personal playbook need to look like? An effective leader's playbook is all about facilitation, not dictation. Their job is to set the vision, clear the path of any obstacles, and create an environment of psychological safety where people feel like they can communicate openly. They empower the team, they don't micromanage it. But hey, leadership is only half the story. Every single member has their own playbook to follow. And that means committing to the team's goals, being accountable for your own work, communicating honestly, and really actively supporting your colleagues. Success is a shared responsibility, for sure. This quote from the legendary basketball coach Phil Jackson just says it all, doesn't it? It's a perfect loop. When individuals bring their A game, it elevates the team. And when the team has a strong structure, it elevates every single person within it. So, how can you actually tell if your team's blueprint is working? Well, it's time for a little health check. Let's look at the green flags you should be aiming for and the red flags you need to watch out for. Think of this as your team's diagnostic chart. Over in the green flag column, you see the signs of a really healthy system. You've got trust, clear goals, even constructive conflict. But on the red flag side, you see the symptoms of dysfunction.
confusion, blame, and all those disagreements that just fester. Be honest with yourself. Where does your team spend most of its time?
And this slide right here, this captures what might be the single most important takeaway of all. The sign of a truly great team isn't that they have no problems, because that's a fantasy. The sign of a great team is that they have a solid system in place to solve problems constructively when they pop up. It's all about resilience, not perfection. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Looking back at that health check, what is the single biggest red flag that's holding their team back right now? And maybe more importantly, what's one small step you could take tomorrow to start turning it green? Thanks for joining us.